All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, T.G. Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. I was trying to do something there that hadn't been done. I thought that I had figured out the algorithm mathematically, and I thought that I could show that. Harvey Weinstein was at the time that I was meeting with him, and how he could not be told no. You follow what I'm saying?
They'll figure out some way.
They did not know that he was recording them. I mean, when I read through that lawsuit, Rodney made it very clear that he had hidden cameras. And if you are a person like LeBron who says ain't no party like a Diddy party, you got Ashton Kutcher talking about what happens at Diddy parties stays at Diddy parties. And finally exposed, he heavily implied, and this is again an allegation, that Lucien Grange was having some sort of a homosexual relationship with Diddy. So he is the person that controls Diddy, that Lucien Grange was aware of these parties, that Universal Music Group was aware of these parties, essentially that Diddy is the thug and the gangster working on behalf of Lucien.
So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing?
You will tell it.
No, somebody come to tell me.
Okay.
I gather that, I value that, I'll pay for that. Come, tell me. I know so many things I shouldn't know. I wrote it out to kill the careers of the people I was talking about, right? But it was so vicious that I erased all of the knockout blows and just left the jabs. So if I see somebody do a good job, I just want to do a good job.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow the example.
Yeah.
Right? So Tyler Perry got a military base.
That's correct.
Made it into a movie studio and started making movies.
What if Katt Williams wasn't crazy? Just early, when Diddy made headlines last fall, the world saw scandal. But Katt Williams saw something else. Confirmation. That viral meme of Diddy's mugshot photoshopped over Wesley Snipes in New Jack City wasn't just a joke. It was a signal. Katt wasn't being petty. He was being prophetic. Years before the lawsuits exploded, he was already name-dropping the same celebrities now showing up in court docs. Tyler Perry, Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey, Ludacris, and even Jay-Z. For years, people thought he was just ranting. Now, they're starting to rewind. Katt once stated on a podcast that he wrote an entire set designed to end careers, but deleted the knockout punches and left only the jabs. He wanted the people he discussed with to know, I know your story, and I'll tell it if I need to. Now those jabs feel like roadmaps. The more you delve into these lawsuits, the more it seems like Katt anticipated what was coming. He hinted at a hidden system behind the glitz, one where the biggest names weren't just talented, they were connected. And if they wanted to stay successful, they had to play by the rules of the game. A game Katt refused to join. At the top of this alleged system, Katt pointed to a name few had heard, Lucien Grange, the man behind Universal Music Group. Katt implied that Grange wasn't just a label executive, he was Diddy's handler. According to Katt, Diddy wasn't acting alone. He was the street-level operator, the enforcer, and the one keeping tabs. Allegedly, he was recording everything. Katt wasn't the only one saying this. Lawsuits now reference cameras, hidden rooms, and digital evidence. Celebrities who once praised Diddy's wild parties, like LeBron James and Ashton Kutcher, are now nervously silent. The implication? Some of these events were documented without the attendees' knowledge. The threat of those recordings getting out may have kept people in line for years, not just because of what they did, but because of who else was there. As federal charges rolled out, the names got more shocking. Diddy's son, Justin Combs, was reportedly involved in the same circles. Court documents referenced other high-profile entertainers and executives. And while some names were redacted, the connections were there for those paying attention. Suddenly, Katt's old jokes looked like insider code. For years, Katt mocked Perry for always wearing a dress on screen. But his jokes weren't just about fashion. He implied something deeper. He claimed Diddy helped launch Perry's early films by providing funding, access, and VIP premieres. The relationship was never widely publicized, but it was real. And Katt suggested that Perry's success came at a cost: silence and loyalty. Smiley rose quickly. He began attending exclusive parties, then landed radio gigs, and finally, a hit show. Katt joked that Smiley only shined when wearing a dress. Again, not just for laughs. He claimed he even included a clause in his contract. He wouldn't work with Smiley unless Smiley wore a dress in the film. Not out of spite, but because he believed that was the only role Smiley could convincingly play. To Katt, the dress wasn't a costume, it was compliance. He made similar claims about Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer. Joke theft, show ideas stolen, and all of it swept under the rug. Why? Because they were protected. Katt suggested they collaborate with Diddy on charity events, host bad boy-funded galas, and never question anything. They were rewarded for their silence, and Katt was punished for his voice. Katt spoke openly about the parties. He described homes where one could walk from room to room and see every imaginable act taking place, some consensual, some questionable, all of it recorded. He suggested that many high-profile guests were unaware they were being documented. And once the lawsuits came, his words didn't sound like stand-up anymore. They sounded like testimony. Katt even referenced his own experience, saying he'd turned down $50 million multiple times. He wasn't willing to trade his integrity for access. In one interview, he directly called out Kevin Hart, implying that Hart accepted success by compromising himself in ways Katt wouldn't. It was a jab, but also a warning. That fame, in Hollywood, comes with hidden costs. Even the church wasn't off limits. Katt brought up TD Jakes, alleging that even gospel concerts sponsored by Diddy's team were part of the larger web. VIP lounges, red carpets, curated press appearances, all of it looked like an album launch, not a worship service. And behind the curtain, the same handlers, the same players, the same rules. Katt suggested that even in the world of faith, the price of power was silence. Then came the unsealed indictments. Federal agents raided Diddy's properties. Tactical teams were deployed. Couch cushions were ripped, walls were pierced, and devices were seized. Authorities weren't just looking for drugs or cash. They were after digital evidence, flash drives, footage, names, and the documentation of years of activity, carefully hidden and quietly held. Charges have been filed. Allegations of manipulation, coercion, and secret recordings have surfaced. Court filings accuse Diddy of organizing private events where guests were pressured, sometimes through intoxication or promises of stardom, to participate in explicit performances, many of which were allegedly filmed without consent. Prosecutors claimed these recordings were used as insurance. To control, to silence, and now even Jay-Z's name is being drawn into the storm. A civil suit amendment referenced a high-profile event from the early 2000s. The claim? That a teenage girl was taken to an after-party hosted by major music figures. While the names remained contested, the media frenzy erupted. Jay-Z's lawyers denied any wrongdoing. Diddy's team went silent. And Katt Williams? He kept talking. He drew comparisons between family legacies, LeBron and his son making history in the NBA, and Diddy and his son making headlines and indictments. He pointed out the generational echoes, the cycles, and the silence that allows it to continue. He even joked about the circus of it all, that we watch the lion ride the bike and just clap without asking how the lion was trained. The industry is filled with those who know the truth but choose not to look. And Katt, as chaotic as he may seem, is the one person who keeps dragging the truth out into the light. This isn't just celebrity gossip, it's a reckoning. If Katt Williams were right about all of this, if the names he dropped and the stories he told turned out to be real, then we would owe him more than just a laugh. We owe him an apology and maybe a second listen. Because he may not have been ranting, he may have been warning us.